Hello and welcome back, everybody. We got Monday Night Football on tap tonight with the Vikings versus the Bears. Should be a fun one. It's been a pretty exciting week one, and that should only continue today. Now, if you guys do not already know, we do have a free prop betting app through Android or iOS. Go download Props Optimizer there. Absolutely free. Today is the last day of no ads. Then for the following weeks of NFL, we will have ads. Or if you don't want to see the ads, it's only $10 a month. So come down, download it, give us a try. You'll see all the picks you see here on Props AI on our LineStar app, also on Props Optimizer. Now, for today's show, if you are listening live, we are going to go into the NFL props for Monday Night Football. Then we will break down the game and go through DFS and do all your prop bets. On the YouTube channel after the live, I will split the two and post separately also, just to give you guys all the different ways to watch. Now, thank you all for joining me. Greg, thanks for showing up. Gil Ticket, what is going on? Happy to see you guys all. Hope you all had a very, very good and profitable weekend. It was a solid one for us, but let's dive in and keep going. We're going to jump straight into it. Had a decent week for NFL here. We have 11 picks here on the board, and we're 7-4 for that weekend. Now let's get into these Monday Night Football picks, and I'm gonna start off by Olamide, Zaccheaus, and we're gonna break it down. So game wise, it's gonna be a close, tight game. Zaccheaus really came on in the second half with Jaden Daniels last year and was just consistently used and consistently getting targets. And what we saw in the preseason was more of the same. He logged 64% of the Bears receiver snaps in preseason, and I expect this to keep going at least for the beginning of the year until Luther Burden really gets it going. I don't expect Burden to be a big portion of this offense starting week one, and with that, I think there's plenty of room for Zaccheaus, and this line at 17.5 is just too low for me in such a good spot. Sorry about that. It's just too low. I think the Bears are going to pass a lot. We got the new Ben Johnson offense coming over to Chicago. While there might be some growing pains from the changing system, overall, I think this Bears offense is going to be much improved. We're going to see a better Caleb Williams this year than what we saw last year. He showed some flashes last year, but being actually coached, I think, is going to be a big benefit to him. And 17.5 for the amount of play that I expect from Zaccheaus is just too low, and I think we need to hammer that over. LineStar is at 23.5, or Props Optimizers 23.5, consensus at 21.9, both well to the over. So I like the spot, especially as best odds are to the under, consensus are just slightly to the over. I like the spot altogether for Zaccheaus. Next, we're going to Rome Odzune, 47.5 receiving yards, and we are going to go over. LineStar's at 49.5, consensus at 54.7. So consensus does like it a little bit more than we do. And lines and sportsbooks are, slightly to the under, pretty much even money, slight plus money to the over. And that's part of the reason I like it for sure. 47.5 is too low. I expect Odzune to have a much different role in this year's offense. Over the last four, he averaged 37.3. Over the season, he was in the low 40s. receiving yards per game. And I think this is a spot that Odzune is going to kind of play as the primary receiver. I think Odzune is going to take a little bit more of the Amon-Ra type role, whereas DJ Moore likely takes a little more of the Jameson Williams type role, where, you know, he can have those big, huge outbursts, but the consistent, you know, in and out, day in, day out, week in, week out, I think Odzune is going to just eat a little bit more of that target share. And with the uncertainty of those roles, I think this line is just a little bit low. I think he's a safer play than DJ, and we can hit the over. I am expecting, you know, 50 plus receiving yards from him easy. I think he's going to be hyper targeted, and it's a spot that we can definitely go to. If we look at the daily matchup tool on the LineStar, the wide receivers definitely ate a little bit versus Minnesota. Both defenses here are solid, but Ozzune's in a great spot to get over. Last but surely not least, we're going to go over to the Vikings, and we're going to TJ Hockenson. Higher than 42.5 receiving yards. LineStar's at 52.2. Consensus is a little under at 41.8 here, but I still like it to the over due to the fact that we are getting plus money on the over side here. And TJ Hockenson, Jordan Addison is out. Jalen Naylor is likely to play here. And then we have Adam Thielen. And Adam Thielen, you know, obviously just brought over from Carolina, is not expected to play every snap. He is going to be a little limited. He's still getting involved in the system. Now he's a vet receiver, knows a lot of systems, knows football in and out. So I expect him to be able to transition quickly, but they've already said he's not playing every snap, and he's only going to be in for a basket of plays. We've seen this in, you know, some other situations over the weekend, a little bit different, more holdout situations, but Juwan Jennings, McLaurin are to name a few, and they just really didn't get that much run. I expect kind of the same in this spot. Now, Juwan Jennings also got hurt, which just adds to it. But all in all, I think that's how it's going to happen for Thielen. TJ Hockenson is essentially going to step in as the second target in this offense behind Justin Jefferson. And I think the Bears have been very, very good to wide receiver one. I think Jefferson, while he is an absolute elite talent, is going to get a ton of coverage, and Hockenson can eat underneath. He averaged 42 receiving yards per game over the last 4 last year. The Bears gave up 49.3. Hawkinson's going to get pretty much all of the tight end work. And if we look at what tight ends did, you take out Musgrave, you got Fant 43 yards, Laporta 43 yards, Hockenson 52. Kittle went nuts versus them. I think the most likely path is Hockenson getting plenty of work today. So those are our 3 props for the day. We're going to throw them up here. We got Zaccheaus over 17.5 receiving yards, TJ Hockenson over 42.5 receiving yards, Rome Odzune over 47.5 receiving yards. Now, if you're on our YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe to our channel, all that good stuff. And if we go 3 for 3, one lucky winner will win $20. So thank you guys for watching the prop show, and now we will get over and talk about some DFS action. So if you guys are new to our platform, come join us at LineStar. We do have a free 7-day trial. If you've never tried us out before, you can download it, iOS, Android, go to the website. One subscription does give you access to all of the formats to view our data, platform, projections, all of that. And one subscription also works for all the sports. It's $39.99 per month, $240 for the year. Best deal in DFS. Come try us out. Now, let's get into DFS a little bit here. So we're going to break it down position by position a little bit. Let's start, however, with just a little game overview. 43.5 total. Vikings slight minus 1.5 favorites. It is in Chicago. I think this is going to be a very interesting game, and there's a lot of different storylines here to watch. One, JJ McCarthy is making his first start. We have Caleb Williams, who is into a second year now, but new coach who, seems to be an offensive genius, as the Lions were total duds versus a very good defense this year in the Packers, but they really didn't do very much. So now Ben Johnson is with the Bears. He has plenty of weapons, and I do think it's going to be a very interesting offense and one that we can watch. Greg, does Luther Burden have any sort of role yet? Was hoping he could be like Williams from the Lions. It's tough to say what his full role is going to be, but it did look like he was playing behind Zaccheaus through preseason, while Burden, I think, has giant upside. I don't think he's quite there yet. If you go back into, rookie camp, he missed time. He missed time in the start of training camp, didn't play all that much in the preseason. I just think it's going to take a little bit of time for Luther Burden to really step in and own this Bears wide receiver 3 role. And so that's my only thing, Greg, with Luther Burden. Personally, I'm really not going to have much of him tonight in either props or DFS. I might play unders on props, but that's where it goes with me and Luther Burden so far. Then on the Minnesota side, obviously, we got McCarthy. We have a new addition in Jordan Mason. And then in the wide receiver room, obviously, there's no Jordan Addison. Jefferson, clear-cut wide receiver 1. Thielen is there, but not expected to play a ton of snaps. Then Jalen Naylor is just getting back from injury. Not totally sure kind of the role that he is going to have, as he missed a ton of time and has been really inconsistent. I don't mind him in some DFS lineups, I gotta say that. But the wide receiver room is clearly Justin Jefferson. I was thinking Mason there. And then we got TJ Hockenson, who's a clear target. Now, let's get over to position by position. We already broke down Caleb and JJ McCarthy, but both warrant plays. One of the things that I think is very interesting about Caleb is last year he had like 500 rushing yards. Now, it's not very often that you see a quarterback have that many yards and no rushing touchdowns. I think there is a little bit higher rushing upside with Caleb than most people think. Minnesota last year did give it up a little bit to quarterbacks, allowing 263.9 passing yards per game over the last 9, and were high on the pass attempts allowed. Both bodes well for Caleb tonight in this situation. And with his higher than most people think, rushing output, I absolutely like Caleb. With his rushing, I do think you can put him in a captain spot. However, it is pretty much rushing TD or bust for me as far as wanting to play him in a captain or an MVP spot. I do think that quarterbacks go overplayed a bit in those captain MVP spots. JJ McCarthy does also have a little bit of rushing upside, nowhere near what Caleb's or some of the big time rushing quarterbacks do, but I don't mind some JJ also. But JJ to me is more of a flex or not play spot for me. Chicago, however, did rank 24th, allowing 251.9 passing yards per game over the last 9. We got a very good offense here, and O'Connell has been a little bit of a QB whisperer. So I think JJ McCarthy absolutely can make lines today. Now let's get over to the running back room here, and we got an interesting spot. So we have DeAndre Swift. He looks like he is the clear-cut number 1 coming into this week. Roschon Johnson is expected to be the RB2, but he is questionable. Missed most of the preseason due to a foot injury. Just got a limited practice in on like Friday. So his tag is questionable. There is absolutely a chance he could be like the goal line back. So there is that path. And because of that, he may go overlooked a little bit, but don't mind some Roschon. I think there is some possible touchdown upside. And at 3K, it is a little interesting, but he is going to be touchdown or bust to make your lineups. Swift is the clear RB1 in this spot. And then on Minnesota, we got Aaron Jones and Jordan Mason. It does look like it's going to be a 1A, 1B type situation with Jordan Mason taking some of the goal line work or some short yardage work. I think both guys have viability. Aaron Jones gives you a little more receiving upside, and Jordan Mason maybe a little more touchdown upside. Now, both guys are going to be used a lot. Both guys are in consideration there. Maserati, thanks for showing up. Appreciate it. Also should talk about Monangai a little bit for a second. Kyle Monangai, he's a 7th round rookie. He got a lot of praise. No clue how much he gets used. But outside of Bill this week, we really didn't see many late round draft picks get much work offensively. So with that, I don't think there's a ton of leash for Monangai. The only way I really see him playing is if Roschon is out. But that's, we're going to have to wait and see about that. Now, getting over to wide receivers, Justin Jefferson, obviously clear-cut number 1. Now, the one thing I will say about Jefferson here is they faced him twice last year, and really over the last few years. In Chicago, he has struggled. At home, he has done very well. This game is in Chicago, so maybe that doesn't do the best for him, bode the best for him here. But all in all, he has to get targeted a ton in this, and they have to figure out ways to get their best receiver the ball when they're also thin at wide receiver this week. So for the volume, I think you can consider Jefferson, but I don't expect one of those ceiling games from Justin Jefferson tonight. However, with how talented he is, there is always that opportunity. He's the engine that makes this offense go. Then we have Adam Thielen, likely to play only a limited amount at 4,700. There is tons of paths to his success, though. He is a very good wide receiver, and these underneath type routes may be the way that Minnesota has to go to really get after the Chicago Bears D. Then you have Naylor, Felton, Price. All of them don't know too much what to expect. Naylor, however, is the one with upside that could play a ton. It's just that he just got back from injury, so not totally sure how much leash he will get, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is on the field a lot, giving him a little bit of upside. And right now it does appear that he's going fairly low owned, which is super, super interesting. On to the Chicago side, we got DJ Moore, Zaccheaus, and Odzune. Out of these three, I like Odzune the most. I was super heavy on him in best ball over the offseason. And I think DJ Moore is interesting. I think there is more reason to play DJ Moore in a captain spot than any of the Bears WRs, as I think they're going to use him all over the formation. We even saw him coming out of the backfield in training camp a little bit. And so with how thin they are at running back, I wouldn't be surprised if he gets some snaps out of the backfield and more used as like a Debo Samuel or Jameis Williams than, you know, your normal X. I think Rome is going to take more of that X and going to get a ton of targets, but that ceiling, you know, that chance for 150 and 2 is way less with Odzune than it is with DJ Moore. Both guys I like. I'm going to be playing both. Rome is my priority out of the Bears receivers, but do not sleep on Zaccheaus at 2K. I think he is going to get work. We saw it in the preseason. I think he's going to be a very, very interesting low-owned kind of pivot leverage spot for your lineups tonight, these single game lineups. Over on the tight end spot, we got TJ Hockenson, Colson Loveland, the two clear-cut wide receiver ones. Well, I guess I shouldn't say clear-cut wide receiver one for Colston because Cole Kmet is there. In preseason, it looks like they kind of split snaps with tight end. Colston has the upside, though. Exciting, new, high draft pick rookie. Don't mind playing a little bit of Cole Kmet as he will be low owned and give you a leverage play. But outside of that kind of leverage, I would much prefer Loveland. And then TJ Hockenson, clear best tight end on this slate due to the projected volume going his way. And tight ends have done pretty well versus Chicago over the end, over last year. And then we get into defense and kicker. Both defense clearly in play, as always. Bears way cheaper than the Vikings. I think that is interesting. McCarthy's making his first start. Definitely some pass to success with the Bears, and a guy making his first NFL start. Don't hate it. However, I do expect the Vikings to run a decent amount, which limits the chances for, you know, sacks, interceptions, pick sixes, all that kind of stuff, therefore limiting ceiling. But both defenses clearly in play. Then we get over to the kicker situation, and what we saw with this new kicking ball, we're seeing more long-range field goals going in. I think scoring for kickers across the board is going to be up this season, so we need to consider them a little bit more than we have previously. All right, guys, that is going to do it for us today. Quick one, just hitting on our props and our DFS. Just to round it out again with the props, Zaccheaus over 17.5, TJ Hockenson over 42.5 receiving yards, Rome Odzune over 47.5. And then on to the DFS side, some of my favorite plays today are Caleb, Rome Odzune, Jordan Mason, Zaccheaus, and TJ Hawk. That will do it for us today, guys. Hope you guys have a good one. Best of luck. We'll be back in about an hour with the MLB props and the MLB DFS show. You all have a good one. Thank you for tuning in. See you soon. Please come join us at LineStar, at Props Optimizer. Download them both. Give us a 5-star review as it helps us a ton. Appreciate you guys. Thanks for joining. Talk to you all later.